And in this next matchup, we got some Russia and Russia violence between Abubakar Nurmagomedov and Gadzhi Omargadzhiev. Abubakar Nurmagomedov, he's making his return after not fighting for over a year. His last fight was a successful one for him. He beat Jared Gooden by decision. It was one of the better performances of his career. Nurmagomedov is looking to build momentum in the UFC now, as that was his first win in the organization. Nurmagomedov has already lost in his UFC debut, so he doesn't have to defend a perfect UFC record or anything, and the hype and spotlight is off him a little bit. Even before Nurmagomedov came to the UFC, he had a mishap, losing as a huge favorite over Pavel Kush, so he had dropped the ball in the past, and hopefully now he's at the level he needs to be where he can go on a run. He's been killing himself in this training camp, working with Islam Makhachev ahead of his title shot, Bilal Muhammad, who's trying to make a statement on this card, Zubair Tukhugov, Khabib, and all those guys. So he's going to be ready as far as his training camp goes. And he's light on his feet with a really nice jab. He works off the jab, and he has really nice pull counters with the hooks, big right hand. He has nice check hooks, and his hands are fast. And he has stinging power. He is hittable with shots at the middle, uppercuts, knees. Sometimes he can get clipped as he pulls backwards, and he does stand heavy on his lead legs. So his defense could be a little bit improved, but he is sharp with his hands, and he looks significantly better with the striking against Jared Gooden. And he's a great wrestler. He has great timing on his level changes, good chain wrestling. On top, he has solid control, ground and pound. He has been submitted a couple times. One time he did get hurt and then got submitted, so that one it wasn't really due to a grappling error, really. Perhaps it was more due to him just being rocked. And the other one against David Zawada, he did get submitted off while he was on top, with Zawada on his back. And he has to be aware of the submission threat of Omargadzhiev. Omargadzhiev has shown good leg attacks in previous fights, and I feel like Nurmagomedov should probably just try to keep it on the feet and strike with him here, because I think he has a bigger advantage there. Cardio-wise, Nurmagomedov has solid cardio. He won't gas more than likely. And his opponent, Gadzhi Omargadzhiev, had his perfect record snapped in his UFC debut. He was 13-0 coming off of a win on the Contender Series, but got a really stiff entry into the UFC against Kyle Barallo. Barallo's a fighter who's someone to watch, and he fights up at 185 pounds, whereas Omargadzhiev is going to be competing at 170 on Saturday. It's going to be the first time dropping down to 170 for Omargadzhiev, so we have to see how the weight cut goes for him and how he performs at that weight class. But Gadzhi Omargadzhiev, he's pretty light on his feet as well. He could switch stances, decent movement. He will feint, throw some kicks out there, and look for his overhands and double leg. He gets wild, and he can overextend and really expose himself not only for takedowns but for counter punches. In his last fight, he ended up giving his back by overextending and falling over himself, throwing wild punches against Barallo, and kind of looked amateurish on the feet. And I think some of that was due to sustaining an injury. But Omargadzhiev is aggressive when he can get on top, and he has good entries and good timing on his doubles when he does hit them. And it's going to be interesting to see if he could take down someone the caliber of Abubakar on the ground. And Omargadzhiev in his last fight fought a true BJJ black belt, and he was exposed a little bit. He got swept and got controlled and wasn't really effective with his grappling. But in previous fights, he's shown good chokes, and he's got a knee bar victory before. But he does have a padded record, so a lot of his early fights are not great indicators of him being able to submit superior opponents or control them on the ground. And I feel like he's not as good with his grappling as his record indicates, because a lot of his wins are against the low-level guys. With this fight, I think that Abubakar Nurmagomedov should keep it standing, and he'll be the more polished striker by far. He has way better hands, and if he could stop the takedowns, pressure, work combos behind the jab, he should be able to piece up Omargadzhiev. I'm going to predict he's able to do that. If Omargadzhiev can get the takedowns, get on top and dominate, then there will be that way he could win with that. But I'll be really impressed if he can just out-grapple Abubakar like that. So I got to go with Abubakar to win a decision with his boxing.